keep it relatively short. Coach, we'll open the floor for questions.
We always keep it relatively short, Jameis.
Seems like Iowa's kind of the polar opposite of what you just faced against UCLA. I guess what are the challenges from going from such a defensive-oriented opponent to one that's just going to fire up?
Well, Iowa's second in the nation in scoring. They're so potent in their attack. They've always got 5 guys on the floor that can make a play and make a shot. They don't turn it over. They do a really good job of finding the hot hand, and they run a lot of very random type action. So it's a hard game to prep for just because of all the different things that they do, to keep you moving. And it's one of the best ball movement, player movement team that we'll face all year. And we got it handed to us in their building last year in a similar win, an emotional win at home, and then we did not respond well. We have to be better this game if we want to have any chance. And it was the start. They were up 17-2 on us. We did a good job coming back. I think we had it tied, maybe even took a 1-point lead in the second half, and then they got really hot. And they're really hard to shut off if you let them get comfortable and let them get confident. So this is a game we have to go out and get off to a good start. I anticipate them, coming out all over the place with what happened in their last one, similar to what happened to us against Michigan State. So, it's an important game. All these conference games are, and we're going to try to go out and continue to play confident basketball, unselfish basketball, and hopefully give ourselves a chance.
Do you think the guys have responded better this season with last year in mind of knowing what happened when they didn't prepare well enough after an emotion?
Well, believe me, we talked a lot about it after the game the other day, and you could see it. I think the guys' emotions were pretty much in check after that game. I didn't think guys were too high. After the Purdue game, when you get a court storm like we did, I think the guys went out and had a lot of fun after that game, and then we didn't bounce back with any type of energy early in the game at Iowa. And again, if you're not ready to go in this one, their pace, the way they get the ball up the floor, if your first 3 steps aren't with urgency, it's going to be a really long night of basketball. And again, I think Iowa's got their talent on the offensive end is as good as anybody, not only in the league but in the country. And you look at the games they've played, they had Iowa State down double digits. I think Iowa State might be the best team in the country right now. You look at what at Michigan, after they got off to a slow start, had a chance to win it. They had a shot at the buzzer to win the game. Knocking off Northwestern at home as well. So this team is really good. You don't look at what happened in the last one. They're going to bounce back with a lot of fire, and we better be ready for it.
Sam was obviously big on Saturday. When you think of when he first got in the rotation to where he is now defensively, did you see that he could grow like he has? What would you say about that?
I think it was Sam's best overall game from start to finish against UCLA. The effort plays, diving on the floor, the steal on Mack in transition when we were in a bad way when they had numbers to get it to Burke for a 3 on the other end. And, the big steal late on Mack as well and, hitting the shot, the big 3 there in the second half. So I thought Sam was terrific. And, we're going to need him to continue to give that defensive energy. He does such a good job of talking when he's out there on the floor. He's in the right spots. And, it's good to see him knock down a shot. He's been shooting it well in practice, and hopefully that gives him some confidence on the offensive end. But, yeah, you always know what you're going to get from him on the defensive end of the floor.
Bryce kind of taking another step this season, scoring more, taking more shots. How have you seen him handle that, maybe more mentally than anything, of having to be more the guy this season?
Yeah, I think Bryce has handled it great, and we needed somebody to emerge into that role, and we thought it would be him. But you never really know until you get to that. That spot. And I thought last year at the end of the season he did a great job of getting himself to the free throw line, and that's where he's really thrived in our offense this year. Drawing contact. Even the other night, you don't go 2 for 12 very often and score 16 points, but to manufacture points at the line, and we have to. We struggle at times, obviously, on that end. So finding a way to get those points at the free throw line, and Bryce has been as good as anybody in our league.
Personally haven't seen another team use that before. Just how long have you guys been using that, and how'd you get into that, and what do you like just about how it's helped the guy?
What is it?
The Blaze Pod, the touching.
Oh, is that what those things are called?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just never seen that before. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's reaction. It's a reaction time drill. We do it a lot in practices. Actually, it's a day before game thing that they do a lot of when they do their core and stability before game, and just some reaction time drills, and a lot of that they do that at the NBA Combine every year. They have a reaction drill, so just to try to get the guys moving and reacting is the purpose of what's it called, the Blaze Pods. And yeah, they've I don't know if that stuff works, but the guys have been doing a great job. I think we got the best strength coach in the business in Kurt Joseph, and he's with those guys. They do something every day of the week, whether it's the Blaze Pods, or whether it's in the weight room, or whether it's a meditation session or a yoga session. So they do something every day. Recovery. They were in the pool yesterday, flushing out their legs after the UCLA game. So everything that they're doing has a purpose to it, and that's important, especially up here. You have to stay strong-minded. We got 2 really tough games coming up here with Iowa and Purdue, and whatever happens, we got to find a way to continue to go on and continue to bounce back. Whether it's a win or a loss, and stay on the right path.
You guys went through this with Barricade and UCLA, but Aaron's facing Iowa, actually going to play against them for the first time.
Yep.
Is there any advantages to just his knowledge of that system, and are you kind of leaning on him maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you talk to him about just maybe some different calls that are out there, some different tendencies, whether it's offense or defense, and you just try to go out there, and once the ball goes up in the air, it's the good thing was Aaron experienced being in that building last year. He was in there. Obviously, didn't dress for us last year, but he was part of the team in that game, so it didn't help very much. We lost by 20, but yeah, Aaron. Again, he's still working his way back from the ankle. It's good we were able to keep him low minutes the other night, but we're going to need him the rest of the conference schedule.
Where are you seeing guys like Jawan and Bryce just kind of take a step from a leadership standpoint, maybe more mature this season, coming off of a win going into another tough game?
Yeah, those guys have been awesome, and you replaced some really good guys last year in the leadership category for us. When you lose Rink, still around, but not the same impact when you're not on the floor. And then you lose Josiah. Again, having him around is great, but not having him on the floor. Those 2 guys specifically set the tone for us. And then Casey was our guy that every day you knew you were going to get out of him, whether it was practice, shoot-around games, or a one-on-one session. So we needed guys to step up. I know I've talked about Jawan a lot, but he's been our most consistent voice. And Bryce has grown in a huge way in the years that he's been in our program. So when you have seniors, when you have your best players that are your hardest workers and your best talkers, that helps set the tone for everybody.
You guys were just outside the top 25 today. Do you pay attention to that at all, or do you use that as motivation for your guys?
No, I don't. See you guys. Thanks.